The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, is a government organization that helps employees stand up to companies after enduring harassment and/or a hostile work environment. The EEOC determines whether a situation is legal by determining if the alleged events violate the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967, or ADEA, and the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, or the ADEA. Let's look at some cases of hostile work environments brought into court in 2022. Hi everyone, I'm Elliot from Tactics, and today I'm going to tell you about 3 more examples of hostile work environment lawsuits. If you haven't seen our first video on the subject titled 3 examples of hostile work environment lawsuits, make sure that you watch that video after this one. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button below. Also, hit that alert bell icon so that when we post new helpful content, you get notified. A company that we will dub Pancake Lovers LLC in this video is a Florida-based company that operates as a Denny's franchise in the U.S. As a Florida restaurant, a Mexican employee endured a hostile work environment, but harassment focused on his national origin. The situation resulted in the employee's termination. Title VII, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, prohibits discrimination on the basis of national origin. As a result of this blatant violation, the EEOC filed a lawsuit in May of 2022. The lawsuit resulted in a 3-year consent decree approved by federal court. Pancake Lovers LLC needed to pay the victim $45,000 in monetary relief. The company also needed to adopt and distribute a policy prohibiting the discrimination on the basis of national origin, provide specialized training about employee rights and complaint procedures to the human resources personnel, managers, and employees, provide reports of any complaints of national origin discrimination to the EEOC, and tell the EEOC any actions it took in response to future complaints. A company we will call Lending Inc. is in a world of trouble. Allegedly, the company subjected an employee, hereby referred to as Jenkins, to a racially hostile work environment. They also failed to accommodate Jenkins' disability and subsequently fired her. Here's what happened. From August 2019 through September 2019, the branch manager of a South Carolina location made severe and pervasive racial comments. The manager subjected Jenkins to racial harassment directed at Jenkins' African American status. Jenkins reported the offensive comments directly to 2 different managers. Despite speaking up, the company did not take any action to stop the harassment. Then Jenkins tried to report the hostile working conditions to the employer's employee hotline, but her phone calls were never returned. To make matters worse, Lending Inc. would not let Jenkins return to work after taking an unpaid leave for disability-related surgery. Allegedly, this is because Jenkins needed crutches or a wheelchair post-surgery. The company told her that she could return to work when she did not have any restrictions and would remain unpaid during the absence. This was the company's way to force Jenkins to extend her unpaid leave, and they eventually fired her. Lending Inc. blatantly violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the American Disabilities Act, or ADA. As a result, the EEOC filed suit. The lawsuit seeks monetary relief for Jenkins, including compensation and punitive damages. The lawsuit also seeks injunctive relief against the company to end ongoing racial or disability harassment and to take steps to prevent unlawful conduct in the future. As of July of 2022, there has not been any settlement of the lawsuit. A company we will call Creek Healthcare is a skilled nursing facility located in California. They provide short or long-term care for residents and patients. The EEOC charged the organization with violating federal law. According to the lawsuit, hostile work environment had gone on since at least 2018. Creek Healthcare allowed residents, employees, and a supervisor to racially harass African American coworkers. The harassment involved repeated and frequent offensive race-based remarks. There were multiple slurs directed at staff. The employer failed to respond to multiple complaints of harassment. Creek Healthcare told employees to tolerate the abusive remarks and endure the hostile work environment. The company retaliated against the one employee after said employee complained of racial harassment. Both the work environment and the response violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of race and any form of retaliation against those who face discrimination. The lawsuit attempts to seek compensatory and punitive damages for several employees. The lawsuit also seeks injunctive relief intended to prevent and correct discrimination. As of August of 2022, Creek Healthcare has not yet settled with the EEOC regarding the lawsuit. As such, there is no official settlement agreement. Cases of hostile workplace environments happen all the time. No matter how bad the situation becomes, just know that you aren't alone. There are laws and government agencies in place that are specifically designed to help rectify the situation. If you find yourself in a hostile environment where your employer does nothing to rectify the situation or threatens your jobs if you continue to make reports, you always have the option of walking away. If all else fails, you can always contact law enforcement, a local lawyer, or the EEOC themselves. If you'd like to learn more about hostile work environments in the real world and how to get trained to prevent harassment, reach out to A Tactics. And since you've already made it this far into the video, you might as well like it, share it, and comment below.